Hi everyone. So the idea for my final project came from my community space write-up, and for that project I studied Delight, which is a women's ministry group on campus, and the data that I collected throughout that project revealed the major lack of diversity and accessibility that's perpetuated by writing in that space. And I want to be an occupational therapist and work with kids with special needs. So I've always been interested in accessibility measures for individuals with different abilities, but I have not previously thought about questioning the diversity and uniqueness or lack thereof in organizations that I belong to. Therefore, for this project, I'm writing a letter asking for a remodel of the organization, which can be accompanied by implementing different writing structures and content, as well as increasing measures of accessibility. So the audience for this letter is the National Delight Leadership Team, which is composed of 12 white women, as well as a leadership team at every college that has a Delight chapter. And in order to create change, modifications, and a new mission for the organization need to be implemented from the top down. So this letter will emphasize the importance of a revamp for this organization, as improving the material that is used and studied, as well as the methods of delivery, will increase the number of women that have access to the material, as well as the number of women that feel they can relate to the actual content. So in order to make this letter appealing, I'm going to include testimonies from women in Delight, both those who are privileged in this context and those who are not. And this letter will suggest the beginning steps that need to be taken in order to create a community that is more reflective of our modern society. The current problem is that the material that Delight chapters around the country study each week is created by a very uniform group of women. These stories do not vary much in content or structure, and standard or normal English is always used. Additionally, there are no accessibility measures implemented for individuals with different abilities, and there are no audio recordings for weekly material, and even access to the stories at the beginning of the semester. Members have to pay $15 to purchase a book, which makes being a part of this community impossible for some. The material targets only a certain group of women, which in turn leads to an exclusive community. In this space, writing perpetuates whiteness and privileged groups. So my argument about writing is that it should be accessible and diverse in content and structure in order to make this community more inclusive. As I mentioned, my project is a letter that is asking for increased diversity in leadership positions and therefore increased diversity in structure and ideas in order to make the community less partial to only a certain group of women. The project will consist of testimonies from women that are currently in Delight, an outline of measures that will make the writing more accessible, such as recording the weekly stories or suggesting songs that may help some individuals to understand the material better, or eliminating the cost of the book at the beginning of the semester. I will also propose a summer workshop for writing the devotional books that Delight uses each semester, and holding a forum for people to share their unique backgrounds and experiences would help to incorporate different perspectives and stories that speak to a wider variety of individuals through the devotional book. Currently, the material that is used each week is reflective of the homogeneity and positions of leadership. The writing reflects the experiences and stories of white women, and thus white women in the organization are privileged, both in style of writing and the content that is being explored each week. As the data from my community space project revealed, Delight is a safe space and home for many individuals at UW, and there are so many amazing things that the organization does, but there's definitely room for this space to become more inclusive and diverse, and that begins with the material that's generated by the leadership team and used by all chapters. The initiative matters to my audience because this organization was originally founded to create a genuine community of women that can do life together. This proposal to modify the way that writing is used in this setting will ultimately attract more women and enhance the community, as a new and diverse variety of perspectives and experiences will be offered. This matters to me because I'm a part of the organization and I want to ensure that other women, no matter their race, ethnicity, class, or ability, feel that they belong and they can find their place in Delight. I love this organization enough to be on the leadership team, and I feel like as a leader I have a responsibility to make this organization the best that it could be, and that means making necessary changes in order to make this group accessible for a wider population of individuals. And I still have to organize the testimonies that I've collected from the Women in Delight at UW, and I want to see if I can collect a few more statements about individuals who are not in Delight but have had positive experiences in diverse communities and have suggestions about how to increase and maintain diversity. One of the questions that I have listed on the next slide pertains to this, so if anyone wants to respond, that would be awesome, and then I can include it in my project. And after that, I just need to organize the different components of my letter to make sure that it is effective and understandable. And then my questions are there any important aspects that I did not mention that would be beneficial to add into the letter to further persuade my audience that a remodel of the organization is important? And have you had experiences in a community or organization that responded well to diversity or communicated information in a way that appealed to a diverse group of individuals? Or if you didn't have that experience, maybe how did it feel being excluded from a certain group due to an inability to connect with or to access the material? So again, if you want to respond to the second question, then I can maybe use some of those responses in my actual project. Thank you.